Thank you, Chairman, for having this very important hearing right now. I'll start with you, Professor Ludwig, with the facts. In 2023, police in Minneapolis reported that they recovered 3 times as many Glock switches as they did when they first started tracking them in 2021. That's only in 2 years. Could you talk, and we've seen these same kind of numbers nationally, how does the increased proliferation of illegal machine gun conversion devices threaten public safety?
So we're seeing these increases, unfortunately, as you note, Senator, in every big city in which I've been able to see the data, we're seeing these increases. I think the challenge that the growing use of machine gun conversion devices play, maybe combined with the availability of high-capacity magazines, means now that more and more people are able to fire off larger numbers of rounds over a shorter period of time. We can see in the data that that's leading to more shots fired per shooting incident, more injuries per shooting event, and higher lethality rates. Even modest changes in the shooting lethality rate winds up leading to very outsized increases in the number of people who die as a result of gun violence.
Thank you. Ms. Sanchez-Gomez, I introduced legislation to require federal law enforcement to coordinate with our state and locals because of what we're seeing in my former job as a prosecutor. And in fact, one of parts of this that we have to look going forward as there are efforts to reduce or defund not the ATF on the national basis coming from some of our federal colleagues. I just want to give one example of ATF working with the St. Paul Police Department, Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and our U.S. Attorney, who's well respected on both sides of the aisle, Andy Luger, to investigate and convict a teenager who led police down a high-speed chase after firing a Glock equipped with a machine gun conversion device into a densely populated neighborhood. Can you talk about the importance of funding ATF in addition to putting in place better safety guardrails when it comes to these devices?
Thank you, Senator. I think that that's exactly right. We need to be giving law enforcement the resources that they're asking for. We've been hearing from attorneys general across the country and from ATF and from local law enforcement that they need more education and more resources to understand the scope of the problem and to address it at the source, which is, one, importantly, preventing these items from being trafficked into the country and preventing them from ending up in the hands of people who would use them to do harm. Harm like the harm that occurred in Detroit, Michigan, when 2 people were killed and 19 others injured at a neighborhood block party. It's important that we give law enforcement the tools that they're asking for. These are already illegal, as has been mentioned a number of times, and preventing them from ending up in our communities is the most important first step in combating the problem.
Thank you. Ms. O'Donnell, thank you for your work and your searing testimony. I believe we need to do more to protect our law enforcement officers and support them. That's why I lead the Cops Reauthorization Bill and have done a lot of work in this area. Could you talk about the challenges that law enforcement face when responding to gun violence incidences that involve handguns that are illegally modified into automatic?
Thank you for the question. What I could say is I think just the last few officers from Chicago who died in the line of duty were all from switches. So you don't have time to react. They're firing too fast. We don't have the same weapons firing back. So it is a big problem. It's definitely multiplied in the last few years, as Professor Ludwig said. And it's becoming a bigger and bigger problem.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Senator Rono.